good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And yes, I've had a very relaxing 2 or 3 days in this little town of Post, or they call it a city, sorry. And anyway, I did a bit of a walk around, and so I might show you some of the highlights of the town. And I also had a bit of an interview with a guy who runs a saddlery and leather shop. Now, as I said, it was hard to get people to come on the camera to interview, and a young lady I was talking to, a mother of 4 children, in the laundromat this morning whilst I was taking care of a few chores, was basically telling me about her life here in this town. And really one of her big issues, her 2 big issues, certainly as far as expenses were concerned, is the cost of insurance and the cost of property taxes. And that's one of the reasons that she moved to this area with her family, because her property taxes are quite a bit lighter than they were where she came from, still in Texas. But yeah, she said that it was getting to be a real struggle. Her insurance premium for her family of 6 was $1,800 a month. I mean, can you imagine that? That's just one bill going at $1,800 a month to make sure that you have health insurance. Now, I'm not entirely sure that the way Canada's gone is the right way either, but by golly, that is an awful lot of money to come up with, especially when she said we're tackling food inflation, just general cost of living inflation. They don't go out to eat anymore. Restaurants have become too expensive. And I'm hearing this actually all over the place, that the cost of eating out is really just become absolutely ridiculous for food that is quite often mediocre, and for service that is quite often substandard. And they still want you to give them a tip at the end of you know, $150 meal for 2 people, which you pretty well put together in your own kitchen. But anyways, these are a few clips I got from around the town. It was very quiet in town, and I realized that, well, everything is a drive-in in Texas, so really people go from place to place by vehicle, and they don't really walk that far. This young lady said actually that she thought it was because a lot of people have heavily physically active jobs, so they didn't feel the need to walk. But it certainly was strange, you know, because people do a lot of walking around town in Canada where I come from. So it was it made the place feel a little bit more desolate than it is. And oh, and one little clip there I got was interesting. This town here is a dry town for alcohol. You cannot buy alcohol within the city limits, but you just go across the railroad tracks and there you go, there's a beer and wine store. So anyway, I hope you like it. It's not very professionally done, I'm afraid, but it will give you a kind of idea of what small town America, especially in Texas, looks like. Okie dokie, here we go. So this is a little park where I am camping right now, and this is a spillway. You take all the water when it rains down into this little lake here. And as you can see across the road there is an oil well pumping away. And I'll show you in a second, but there is a sign over here, poisonous gas. And there are actually people down there fishing on this little lake, and there are ducks and geese. But yeah, you kind of wonder about the water quality, because it's all just runoff from the road into a low spot. I'm not sure whether this is man-made or whether it was a natural depression, but yeah. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to be fishing in there. Here's an interesting type of oak. I'd never seen this oak before, but you can see these are the acorns that come off. Let's see if we can find of course, everything, as you know, gets eaten, but there is an acorn. It's a pretty big acorn. There you go. I would never have thought the oaks would have grown down in Texas. But this little park No one really uses that much. I saw a couple of kids here on Sunday, but I don't know what the kids are doing, but I don't see a lot of people out on the streets. I don't see a lot of people walking around enjoying some of the facilities. And there you go. Here's your pump. Caution, poison gas. That'll be hydrogen sulfide. And I'm not quite sure how this works, whether this is a gas draw off from that pump over there, or whether that's where it's pumping to. No idea. But yeah, it is just kind of interesting that you got poison gas right here in a public park area. And there's the old bus up in the distance. But yeah, it's a lovely little park here, and I walk Jazz here every morning. And but like I say, apart from a couple of guys fishing down over there, no one really uses it. Too bad. But I'll tell you one thing, in the morning it's always misty like this, and you sure can smell that sulfur in the air. But as you can see up there, hint of blue. It's going to be a beautiful day. Hot, they're talking 26, 27 degrees centigrade. So it looks like we're going to have a beautiful day on our hands. But yeah, it's a cute little park. There's only about 11 spaces, but it's got what I need, which is a pump out for the black water tank and my grey water tank, and fresh water to take on. The only thing I've noticed is that about 4 or 5 in the morning the train goes by. So are we on the wrong side of the tracks? No, actually I found something interesting the other day about this little town. It's a dry town, no alcohol allowed to be sold in the town, and yet you go just over the railroad tracks, and I may show you today when I do a walk around. There's a beer, wine and liquor store just 10 minutes out of town, and that's where it's a busy spot, man. It's a busy spot. But I do feel kind of comforted that we have a sheriff lodging here. I was talking to one of the guys the other day who lives here, and he pays, I think he says $375 a month. Includes hydro and water. Now that is an affordable rent, my friends. You could easily live here year round. That works out to about $500 a month Canadian. Fancy that. To be able to live in your motorhome year round without snow for $500 a month. That sure leaves a lot of money left over from a pension. Canada should be looking at this very, very closely, because seniors and young couples are certainly being abused with the high cost of rental, if it's available. So this is a welcome solution for many people, especially seniors. Anyway, no doubt about it, once you get off the main street and onto the back streets, you can see that, well, it's not quite so posh. Those houses are fairly neat and tidy, but there are definitely signs. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. You can see the railroad tracks down there. Now the other side of those rail tracks is a dry town. No alcohol allowed to be sold. Come across the tracks, and here's Brady's Beer and Wine. And Brady's Liquor, Beer and Wine. And Liquor, Beer and Wine drive-through. Everything is a drive-through in Texas, it seems. So here we are on the main street of town. Cute little stores. But there's nobody walking around. This is Monday at noon, and this guy across the road with the dog, he's the first person I seen walking around on the main street. So I'm not quite sure how they do any business or stay afloat, But I am going to go in and get my feet done at the Deluxe Nails and Spa, and yes, I am going to enjoy it. And anybody who has not done this, especially guys, please treat yourself. It is amazing. Your feet will feel wonderful all month. And look at that, an oil well in your own backyard. Ha! Never seen that before. I noticed this here the other night, this grand old cinema. No idea if it's still functioning. There's certainly no films advertised and upcoming. And here is the Post Public Library. So yeah, this is the kind of America that I wanted to actually see. The real America. You know, these big cities, they're basically all the same, although here we are under the big arches of McDonald. Book sale, 10 cents. Three banks in this town. Here's the First National Bank, and interesting architecture. But that's the kind of thing I love. People here are very, very, very proud of their country, proud of their state, proud of their town, civic pride, and that is good to see. Yeah, definitely some run-down properties around here, and but there was a lot of these little restaurants. This is a Mexican food restaurant, authentic Mexican food, and yeah, it wasn't open today, otherwise I might have dropped in and picked up something to eat for lunch. But here's the menu in American and in Spanish. But here's something you don't see in Canada: bail bonds. And there's another little burrito place there, gone out of business sadly. But this is a place I wanted to drop in and see. This was closed the last couple of times I walked past it, but I could just tell by the store itself and the stuff outside that this was a place that had a history to it, and probably had one or two stories that were attached to the whole thing. So I decided to go inside and see if I could talk to the owner, which I did, and had a good look around the store and a quick interview.
Man, right here, this is Danny's shop.
He's telling horses and Harleys.
Well, it's
yeah, he's a cowboy and a hippie. I am too. I just don't ride motorcycles.
It's all handmade, American-made cowboy gear.
Wow.
I've been here 30 years.
Well, it's just good to meet someone who's down to earth and still keeping this stuff alive, right?
Yeah, but it's sure enough a changing world.
Oh, you're not kidding.
It's changing faster than we can catch up sometimes.
So how do you think America's going?
I think it's going way better than it was. You know? Hey, Woody.
So you like President Trump?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He is a...
He wants America to be American. And we just heard over the news the other night that a company's moving back from China over here. I forgot who it was. But, man, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I can tell you, straight from the horse's mouth here, that Canada was charging America tariffs before America tariffed Canada.
I know.
It was outrageous. So because no one knew about this, and when I did some research and found out about it, I'm going, are you kidding me? Like 80% tariffs on metals? And yeah. So
well, I know Cody. We called him Cody Canada because he's from Canada. They did not like their governor and all them people over there. They said it was terrible, terrible. And he said, yeah, we got free medical and free college, but you have to wait for them to have an opening. They come over here to go to college. His wife or girlfriend was going to have to wait 3 or 4 years before she could get in dental school. It'd be paid for, but you got to wait. Your life has got to be on hold before, and she could come right over here and get the agent and go back and go out to work. So.
Mind if I use the restroom? Danny, you got a restroom?
She's around the corner, second door.
No, Canada is basically, unless we get some radical changes, she's done for.
Who's that guy, Trudeau?
Yeah, he's gone, but he's been replaced by an even worse guy, Carney. He's straight from the World Economic Forum. They want to go the European route. They're taxing everyone to death.
Go to the euro.
So no, we've gone in the wrong direction, and I have just the respect I have for Americans that have got the balls to speak up. Okay,
When we went over there, Cody said, "Man, I tried to get a hold of y'all. Did y'all bring us some Copenhagen?" No, this is 2015. We could buy a roll of Copenhagen, which is 4 cans, for $29. In Canada, it was $150.
Wow.
Same thing with a carton of cigarettes. He said, we'd have gave you $100 a roll, and you could have paid for your whole trip, because you were allowed 2 rolls per person crossing. So, but like a pair of jeans was $75. A straw hat was $75. That time it was $15-20 over here. And the dollar, if you paid cash, you got a quarter back on every dollar, because you're paying American cash.
Well, it's just, and now they're coming after your property. Okay, they're about to introduce what they call an equity tax. So if you own your property, they're going to charge you an extra tax on top of your municipal tax just to go to the federal government.
See, they have ranches, they have a Western store, they have a trucking company, and we stayed over there in their house, and their house was probably 3,500, 4,000 square feet on top. The basement was 3,500 square feet on the bottom. I mean, you and I said, why is your house so big? So we spend a lot of time in the winter in our houses.
Yeah. 6 months of winter.
Yeah.
6 months of winter. Any listeners, great talking to you folks, and who wouldn't want to go into Smoking Dick's Barbecue? And actually I did go in there for lunch. It was quite passable, a very interesting little place, very, very nice people, and like I say, the food was pretty good. The pulled pork was fantastic, and again, as I say, a lot of pride in America, a lot of pride in their own town. Well, I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. Like I say, I've got 7,500 kilometers on the vehicle now, and the journey is still not over. It's probably still another 700 or 800 miles down to Port Isabel, and I'm 2 weeks early, so I will be staying in a couple of RV parks and checking out those areas. And seeing if there's anything interesting to look at, and like I say, trying to get a taste of where America is at, where people feel the direction the country is going. It's been somewhat upbeat. People are concerned, but they are certainly relieved that President Trump is trying to make America great again. So anyways, like I say, thank you all for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this trip as much as I am, and I'm feeling a little guilty because it's beautifully warm down here. It's a t-shirt, shirt or shorts every day. So yes, that is a very enjoyable part of this journey. And I don't think I'm going to miss a Canadian winter for once after 40 seasons, the winter seasons that I've seen up there in the north. So anyway, thanks again for all of those who have donated, and we'll talk to you all in the next video, and we'll be doing a few other more topical things that are going on around the world, and also updates on the ostrich situation, which is becoming quite tenuous. What's going on there is absolutely staggering. Okay, well, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.